Does life ever feel like a game that's rigged against you? You work hard, you do the right things, but you're still getting ambushed by anxiety, frustrating setbacks, and people who seem to cruise by with half the effort. It feels like a constant battle against distractions, your own impulses, and a world that's just noisy, chaotic, and fundamentally unfair. You're stuck on a hamster wheel of stress, and it seems like the game is designed for you to lose. But what if you could stop playing their game and start changing the rules in your favor? What if you had the ultimate cheat codes to silence anxiety, make disciplined decisions, and gain a real advantage in your career and your life? These aren't some New Age tricks. They are 8 battle-tested mind hacks from the ancient Stoics, thinkers like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the powerful statesman Seneca, and the incredibly resilient former slave Epictetus. For thousands of years, these principles have been the secret weapon of the world's most formidable leaders, artists, and thinkers to master themselves and shape their reality. And today, you're going to learn how to steal them. The first hack is arguably the most powerful. It's called amor fati, which is Latin for a love of fate. Now, that might sound passive, like you're just supposed to lie down and let life walk all over you. But it's the exact opposite. Amor fati is the practice of not just accepting everything that happens, the good, the bad, the brutal, but loving it. It's treating every single moment, no matter how challenging, as if you chose it. It's the conscious decision to say, this is my path. This is for me, not against me. And I will use it. The great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This isn't about pretending a terrible event is secretly good. It's about seeing it as raw material. As Marcus also said, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." An ordinary person gets extinguished by a setback. A Stoic uses it as fuel. Let's make this real. Imagine you pour months of your life into a huge project at work, and at the last minute, a key client pulls out. The whole thing collapses. The average reaction is predictable: anger, blame, despair. Why me? This is so unfair. All that work for nothing. They let the obstacle crush them. They become a victim of circumstance. The person practicing amor fati feels that same initial sting, but their internal script is totally different. They feel the frustration, acknowledge it, and then pivot. They ask, okay, this happened. It's part of my story now. What can I do with this? What does this obstacle now make possible? Maybe the project's failure frees up their time for a more innovative idea they'd been ignoring. Maybe the collapse reveals a huge flaw in the company's process that, once fixed, prevents a much bigger disaster down the line. Maybe it teaches them a brutal lesson about client relationships that will make them millions in the future. They find the opportunity inside the obstacle. And that's why amor fati is an unfair advantage. While everyone else is wasting precious energy complaining, resisting reality, and feeling sorry for themselves, you're already moving forward. You're taking the very thing meant to break you and weaving it into your strength. You're not just surviving setbacks, you're capitalizing on them. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who was heavily influenced by the Stoics, called this his formula for greatness. He wrote, "That one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, but love it." Think about it in your own life. That painful breakup? It taught you what you truly need in a partner and forced you to become more independent. That job you got laid off from? It pushed you to start your own business or find a career that actually lit you up. With amor fati, you become anti-fragile. You don't just endure reality, you thrive on it. Every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Every failure becomes a lesson. You stop fighting the current and learn to steer wherever it takes you. This next hack is the foundation of all Stoic practice. Once you truly get this, the majority of your anxiety and frustration just disappears. It's called the dichotomy of control, and it's deceptively simple. The philosopher Epictetus, who went from being a slave to one of Rome's most respected teachers, put it this way: some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control: our opinions, our intentions, our desires, our decisions. In other words, our own actions. Things not in our control: pretty much everything else: our body, our reputation, what other people think of us, whether we get the promotion, the stock market, the traffic, and even the ultimate outcomes of our actions. Most of our misery comes from one simple mistake. We confuse those two lists. We waste our lives desperately trying to manage things we have zero control over, and we neglect the one area where we have absolute power: our own inner world. Anxiety is almost always a result of focusing on what you can't control. Think about it. You're anxious about a big presentation. Are you anxious about the effort you'll put into preparing? No, that's on you. You're anxious about what the audience will think, whether they'll approve, whether you'll trip over your words. All external, all out of your hands. The Stoic approach isn't to stop caring, it's to shift the goalpost. An undisciplined person sets their goal on an external. I have to get this promotion. Their happiness is now chained to a decision other people make. If they don't get it, they're crushed. A Stoic sets their goal on an internal. I will be the absolute best candidate for this promotion. I will prepare meticulously. I will perform at my peak in the interview. I will act with integrity. See the difference? The goal is the effort, not the outcome. Whether they get the promotion is secondary. They win if they do everything within their power, to the best of their ability. If they do all that and still don't get the job, it's no failure on their part. As Epictetus would say, it is nothing to you. This is a massive advantage. In any competitive field, business, sports, you name it, most people are emotional roller coasters. Their performance skyrockets when things are going well and crumbles under pressure when they're not. You, on the other hand, become a rock. Your performance is consistent because your self-worth is tied only to your own actions. You're immune to the chaos that derails everyone else. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let's apply this to a modern minefield: social media. You post something, the average person is immediately hooked. How many likes? What are the comments? Their mood for the next few hours is in the hands of an algorithm and a bunch of strangers. It's a perfect recipe for misery. The Stoic draws the line. Creating and posting, in your control. The thought you put into it, in your control. How it's received. Whether someone leaves a nasty comment, utterly and completely outside of your control. Let it go. By focusing only on your side of the line, you are free. You can create, work, and speak your mind without being a slave to the reaction. This is where real freedom is. The unfair advantage is emotional stability and radical focus, while others are paralyzed by worry and crushed by results they can't dictate. You're pouring 100% of your energy into the only thing that ever mattered: your own choices. The third hack is how you forge a will of iron. It's the engine that powers every other principle. The Stoics knew that greatness isn't born from some grand heroic act, but from small, consistent actions, repeated day after day. Think of it like building an unbreakable chain, one link at a time. Our culture is obsessed with motivation. We wait until we feel like it. We scroll motivational quotes and wait for a lightning bolt of inspiration before we get to work. The Stoics thought this was ridiculous. They believed in discipline, not motivation. Discipline is what gets you to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. As Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, wrote to himself on a cold morning, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." He didn't ask if he was motivated, he reminded himself of his duty. The Stoic approach to building discipline isn't about starting with a giant leap, it's about a single deliberate step. Marcus wrote, "You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action, and be satisfied if each one achieves its goal." This means you shift your focus. Don't focus on writing a book, focus on writing 1 page today. Not getting in shape, but doing 10 push-ups right now. Not building a business, but making 1 sales call this morning. Each small action is a link in the chain. When you do it, you've succeeded for the day. You've cast another link. Over time, these daily links forge an unbreakable chain of habit and character. Let's say you want to wake up earlier. The undisciplined person sets their alarm for 5 a.m., fails on day 2, calls themselves a failure, and quits. The Stoic takes a different approach. They start small. Week 1, they get up just 10 minutes earlier. Next week, 15. They're building the chain, link by link, without snapping it. This mindset of just showing up every day is the ultimate competitive advantage. In any field, talent is common and inspiration is fleeting. But discipline? Discipline is rare. The person who shows up every single day, no matter their mood, will eventually blow past the talented but inconsistent person. They're building momentum. They're hardening their will. As the philosopher Seneca said, progress takes time. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. You can't rush the harvest. You can only tend the soil every day. The power of this hack is compounding. 1 workout won't make you strong. 1 hour of study won't make you an expert. But the accumulated effect over years is staggering. While others are waiting for the right feeling, you're in the arena, laying 1 brick at a time. Day after day, you're building a fortress of discipline. Eventually, you look up and realize you've built an empire while everyone else is still looking at the blueprints. This 4th hack is one of the most counterintuitive in the Stoic arsenal. In a world obsessed with comfort, convenience, and luxury, the Stoics practiced the exact opposite: voluntary hardship. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would regularly set aside days to practice poverty. He'd eat the plainest food, wear his roughest clothes, and sleep on the floor. He wasn't punishing himself. He was vaccinating himself against misfortune by asking, "Is this the condition that I feared?" Let's face it, modern life can make us soft. We live in climate-controlled bubbles, have food delivered to our door, and can escape any hint of boredom with a glowing screen. This constant comfort, paradoxically, makes us weak and fearful. We become terrified of losing our conveniences. The thought of being cold, hungry, or just bored fills us with dread. Voluntary hardship is the antidote. It's deliberately exposing yourself to discomfort in a controlled way to build resilience for the uncontrolled chaos of life. It's a fire drill for the soul. Here are some modern examples. Take cold showers. It's a classic for a reason. It trains your mind to do something uncomfortable and teaches you to override your whining internal voice. Try intermittent fasting. Going without food for a bit reminds you that hunger is not an emergency. It shows you that you are not a slave to your appetites. Sleep on the floor for a night. Like Seneca, give it a try. You'll wake up a little sore, but also with the profound realization that you don't need a plush mattress to survive. You're tougher than you think. Do a digital detox. Intentionally go a day or even a few hours without your phone. Embrace the boredom. Train your mind to be calm without constant stimulation. So what's the unfair advantage? First, you dramatically expand your comfort zone. Things that would break other people become minor inconveniences to you. Stuck in an airport overnight? You've slept on the floor before. You got this. Financial setback? You've practiced eating cheaply. You know you can survive on less. You've fortified yourself against fortune's attacks while she was being kind. Second, you cultivate a deep sense of gratitude. After a day of eating plain food, a normal meal tastes like a feast from the gods. After a cold shower, the warmth of a t-shirt feels like a luxury. You stop taking the good things for granted because you've intentionally experienced the alternative. As Seneca said, you don't wait for the storm to learn how to build a shelter. You build it when the sun is shining. This practice separates you from the fragile masses. While others live in a state of low-grade anxiety, constantly afraid of what they might lose, you walk through life with a quiet confidence. You face discomfort by choice, so when it arrives by chance, you're ready. The fifth hack is a mental simulation the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. Today, we'd call it negative visualization. While most self-help gurus tell you to only think positive thoughts, the Stoics did the opposite. They would start their day by deliberately thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Marcus Aurelius gave himself this jarring morning reminder. When you wake up, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He wasn't being a pessimist. He was being a realist. He was preparing himself so that when he inevitably met a difficult person, he wouldn't be surprised or angered by it. Seneca took it even further. Rehearse them in your mind. Exile, torture, war, shipwreck. All the terms of our human lot should be before our eyes. He wasn't trying to make himself anxious. He was trying to annihilate anxiety. There are two massive benefits here. First, it makes you prepared and resilient. An unexpected blow is what hits hardest. By thinking about the worst-case scenarios ahead of time, you strip them of their power to shock you. Let's say you have a big presentation. The positive thinker visualizes a standing ovation. The Stoic does that too, but they also spend 5 minutes visualizing what could go wrong. The projector fails. A key person is hostile. They forget a point. By thinking it through, they prepare. They bring a backup on a USB stick. They anticipate tough questions and prep answers. If something goes wrong, they don't panic. They've already run this drill in their mind. They can respond calmly while the unprepared person freezes. Second, and this is the beautiful part, it cultivates a deep gratitude for what you have right now. Take a moment. Imagine losing something you cherish, your job, your health, a loved one. Don't just glance at the thought. Really sit with it for a second. Now come back to the present. That thing you just imagined losing is still here. Your health is intact. The person you love is still in your life. The feeling that washes over you isn't anxiety. It's a warm, profound gratitude. Something you took for granted 5 minutes ago now feels like a precious gift. This is a cheat code for turning anxiety into gratitude and fear into preparation. You're harder to break because you're prepared for failure, and you're happier because you're not taking your successes for granted. You hope for the best, but you are ready for the worst. The sixth hack is a simple but transformative daily ritual, the evening reflection. Just as a doctor performs an autopsy to understand a cause of death, the Stoic performs a daily autopsy on their day to understand their actions. Seneca described his nightly routine. When the light has been taken away and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said. I conceal nothing from myself. I pass nothing by. This isn't about beating yourself up for mistakes. It's about honest, objective self-review with one goal: continuous improvement. Without reflection, we're doomed to repeat the same errors over and over. The process is simple. Before you sleep, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I do wrong today? This requires gut-level honesty. Where were you impatient? Did you act out of ego? Did you procrastinate? You're not judging yourself. You're identifying the behavior so you can fix it. As Seneca said, he could tell himself, "See that you do not do this anymore. For the moment, I excuse you." What did I do right today? It's just as important to acknowledge your wins. Where did you act with courage or kindness? Did you stick to your discipline when you didn't feel like it? Recognizing what you did well reinforces that behavior. How can I improve tomorrow? Based on your answers, you make a simple plan. Not a grand promise, just a small adjustment. Tomorrow, when I feel that flash of anger, I'll pause before I speak. Tomorrow, I'll tackle my hardest task first. You're setting a clear intention. This 10-minute practice creates a powerful feedback loop for growth. The unfair advantage is accelerated self-awareness. Most people drift through life on autopilot. They make the same mistakes for 40 years and call it experience. They react on impulse, never understanding their own patterns. You're different. You're a student of your own life. You are deliberately learning from your successes and failures every single day. The rate at which you'll grow will be exponential compared to someone who never stops to reflect. Think of it like a pro sports team. The amateur team just plays the game. The pro team plays the game, and then they spend hours reviewing the game tape. They analyze every play, identify every mistake, and celebrate every smart move. Which team do you think is going to dominate? The evening reflection is your game tape. The 7th hack is about finding a secret weapon in our world of constant noise: solitude. The Stoics knew that to think clearly, you have to be able to retreat into your own mind. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." He called this your fortress of solitude. This isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about intentionally carving out time to be alone with your thoughts, free from the endless chatter of the outside world. In our hyper-connected world, this is a radical act. We're conditioned to fear boredom and silence. The second we have a spare moment, we reach for our phones, flooding our minds with other people's opinions and endless information. We consume so much that we never have time to just think. Practicing this can take many forms. Go for a walk without your phone. Just walk. Let your mind wander. Schedule thinking time in your calendar like it's a critical meeting. For 30 minutes, just sit with a notebook. Try meditating. It's a formal way of training your attention and getting comfortable in the silence. Engage in deep reading of a physical book, which forces you into focused contemplation. At first, this might feel weird. Your brain, addicted to stimulation, will be restless. But stick with it. The mental fog starts to clear. You gain clarity. Your creativity sparks. Your anxiety drops because you're no longer being constantly bombarded by external triggers. Marcus Aurelius, ruling a massive and chaotic empire, knew he needed this. He wrote, "It is in your power to retreat into yourself whenever you choose. For nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The unfair advantage here is superior decision-making. In a world where most people are reactive, swept along by the latest trend or outrage, you have the ability to step back. You see the bigger picture. You can distinguish the signal from the noise. When faced with a big decision, the average person outsources their thinking. They poll friends, scroll forums, and get lost in a sea of conflicting opinions. The person with a fortress of solitude has a different process. They gather information, then they retreat. In the quiet of their own mind, They weigh the options against their own values and listen to their intuition. They make decisions from a place of centered clarity, not panicked confusion. This ability to think independently is one of the rarest and most valuable skills of the 21st century. Our final hack is a powerful mental shift called the view from above. It's the practice of zooming out from your immediate problems and looking at your life from a cosmic perspective. Marcus Aurelius used this constantly to handle the immense pressures of being emperor. He'd imagine himself rising high above the earth, looking down. From that vantage point, he could see all of humanity scurrying below. He wrote, "When you are reasoning about mankind, look upon earthly things below as if from some vantage point above them." As he zoomed out further, he'd see the entire planet as a tiny speck in the cosmos. He'd think about the vastness of time stretching infinitely behind and in front of him, and all the generations of people who had lived and died, their triumphs and tragedies long forgotten. The point isn't to feel insignificant. The point is to put your problems in their proper context. That embarrassing mistake you made, that argument you had, that stressful deadline. From the perspective of the cosmos, how big are they really? This shrinks your anxieties. When you're caught up in daily drama, your problems can feel all-consuming. The view from above gives you instant perspective. The anxiety that felt like a monster now looks like an ant. It also fosters a sense of connection and humility. From up there, the trivial things that divide us, status, wealth, reputation, all dissolve. You see the shared human experience. That person you're so angry with, they're just another struggling human playing their small part in the grand drama, just like you. The unfair advantage is strategic calm. While people around you are panicking over small things, you maintain your equanimity. You can tell the difference between a genuine crisis and a minor inconvenience. This ability to zoom out is a superpower. It gives you the psychological distance to respond to life with wisdom, not raw emotion. When you feel overwhelmed by stress or anger, try it. Close your eyes. Imagine floating upwards above your room, your city, until the earth is just a blue marble. Look at your life from that silent, peaceful distance. You'll find that from the eagle's eye view, your problems are rarely as big as they seem. So there you have it. These 8 Stoic mind hacks aren't just interesting ideas. They are a practical toolkit for building an unbreakable mind. With amor fati, you turn every obstacle into fuel. With the dichotomy of control, you reclaim your focus from the chaos. With daily discipline, you build greatness one small action at a time. With voluntary hardship, you forge resilience. With premeditatio malorum, you trade anxiety for gratitude. With the daily autopsy, you commit to constant growth. With the fortress of solitude, you find clarity in silence. And with the eagle's eye view, you gain the perspective to navigate life with calm. Life might feel like a rigged game, but these are the cheat codes. They don't change the world outside, but they give you complete mastery over your inner world. And that's the only advantage that truly matters. The power to choose your response, to master your mind, and to act with purpose is a power no one can ever take from you. That is the ultimate unfair advantage. You have the cheat codes, but knowledge without action is useless. The Stoics didn't just talk about philosophy, they lived it. So here is your challenge. Don't try to master all 8 at once. Just pick one, the one that hits home the most, the one that addresses your biggest pain point right now. Will you practice amor fati on the next setback you face? Will you draw your line in the sand today? Will you take a cold shower tomorrow morning or do a daily autopsy tonight? Choose your hack and commit to practicing it for the next 24 hours. Let me know in the comments which one you're going to steal first. I want to hear what you're committing to. And if you want more battle-tested wisdom for building a tough, powerful mind, make sure you subscribe. The journey has just begun.